ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. By His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 20, Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena. So, we are in the section text 1 to 16, last sloka we are going to see, where Lord Vishnu is instructing Maharaj Prithu. So, we are coming to the final shloka of this section. So, text 20, just a minute. So now the Lord is asking, my dear Prithu, please ask for any benediction. Text 16. Varam chamatkanchana manavendra vrishnihateham gunashilayantyantritah naham makhairvai sulabhas gastapobhir yogena vayat samachittavartihi. Translation.
My dear king, I am very captivated by your elevated qualities and excellent behavior, and thus I am very favorably inclined towards you. You may therefore ask from me any benediction you like. One who does not possess elevated qualities and behavior cannot possibly achieve my favor simply by performance of sacrifices, severe austerities, or mystic yoga. But I always remain equipoised in the heart of one who is also equipoised in all circumstances. Purport. Lord Vishnu was very pleased with Maharaj Prithu's good character and behavior and offered him a benediction. The Lord openly says that performing great sacrifices and undergoing the austerities of mystic yoga practices cannot satisfy him. He is pleased only by elevated character and behavior. But these cannot develop unless one becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. Anyone who has developed unalloyed, unflinching devotional service unto the Lord develops his original good qualities as spirit soul. The spirit soul, as part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has all the good qualities of the Lord. When the spirit soul is contaminated by the material modes of nature, one is considered good or bad with reference to the material qualities. But when one is transcendental to all material qualities, all the good qualities come out. These qualities of a devotee, 26 in number, are listed as follows: 1. Kind to everyone. 2. Does not quarrel with anyone. 3. Fixed in the absolute truth. 4. Equal to everyone. 5. Faultless. 6. Charitable. 7. Mild. 8. Clean. 9. Simple. 10. Benevolent. 11. Peaceful. 12. Completely attached to Krishna. 13 has no material hankering, 14 meek, 15 steady, 16 self-controlled, 17 does not eat more than required, 18 sane, 19 respectful, 20 humble, 21 grave, 22 compassionate, 23 friendly, 24 poetic, 25 expert, and 26 silent. The Lord is satisfied by development of the transcendental qualities of the living entity and not by artificial performance of sacrifices and mystic yoga. In other words, unless one is fully qualified to become a pure devotee of the Lord, one cannot expect to be liberated from material entanglement. Hare Krishna.
So the Lord is now concluding his instruction and asking Prithu that, my dear Prithu, I am extremely pleased. Please ask me any benediction. So, Varam Namat Kanchana Manavendra. Look at the word Manavendra. Indra is standing next. Indra is, uh, he is forgetful, he is afraid of losing his position. But the Lord is calling Maharaj Prithu Manavendra. That, my dear, you are real Indra, my dear Prithu. Trishnivateham Gunashila Yantritah. Trishnivate, you have very deeply pleased me by your transcendental qualities. Naham Makairvair Sulavastapobhir Yogenava. He says that I am very captivated by your elevated qualities and excellent behavior. Right. And thus I am very favorably inclined towards you, O my dear King, Manavendra. Ask me any benediction. One who does not possess elevated qualities and behavior cannot possibly achieve my favor simply by performing so much of yajna and tapa. But but I always remain equipoised in the heart of the man, heart of the one who is equipoised in all the circumstances. Such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful verse. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains Lord Vishnu is very pleased with Maharaj Prithu's good character and behavior and offered him a benediction. So, when calamity comes in our life and how we react to calamity has to do with pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Later in the 10th canto, 14th chapter, that very celebrated verse, Tatenu Kampa Sushamikshamanu Bunjana evatma kritam vipakam Ridvak vapurbhir vidadhan namaste Jive mukti pade sadayavak. That one who sees the the roller coaster in one's life is equipoised. Sama ikshamana, knowing Bunjana, evatmakritam vipakam, that these are my own reactions. They are coming to me and I have become devotee. So the Lord is a little bit reducing the reactions. Just like the obedient child will be beaten less by the mother for the past mistakes. Chalo bacha sudhar raha hai. So similarly, Lord is giving me minimized token reactions. And if I start complaining what is happening in my life because of my own past deed, atmakritam vipakam, then that is not right. But one who tolerates that by one's excellent behavior, then the Supreme Lord becomes extremely pleased. Rid Vak Vapurbhir Vidadhan Namaste. Being grateful at Rid, Vak, and Vapu, Jive Tayo Mukti Pade Sadayabhak. For him, liberation is guaranteed. Prabhupada writes here, the Lord is pleased only by elevated character and behavior, and which is excellently, displayed by Maharaj Prithu here. Originally, every living entity has all these qualities. But what has happened is, living entity has come down to material nature, and therefore he has been contaminated by three modes of material nature. And therefore he is contaminated with different levels. Bhagavad Gita describes, Yatha Vanne, just like the Agni is is covered by the fire, or, so similarly, living entity is contaminated by the material nature by different modes, different extent. But when the living entity starts engaging in devotional service, all these good qualities will start manifesting within that devotee. Yasyasti bhakti bhagavate akinchana sarvair gunair tatra samasate sura. Why? Because to the degree a living entity will come to the platform of he is not the body, he is the soul, to that degree he will start exhibiting the real qualities of the soul, which Prabhupada says they are 26 in numbers. And Prabhupada, beautifully writes all the qualities one after another. He is humble, grave, compassionate, friendly, poetic, kavi, expert, and silent. Right. So we know devotees for many, many years. I know one devotee, he's practicing this one quality. He says that this year I'm going to be simple. Next year I'm going to be simple and benevolent. And he said that, yeah, 26 year it will take me to develop 26 qualities. But but these one has to be aware of these wonderful qualities. The Lord is satisfied by development of these transcendental qualities of the living entity, and not by the artificial performance of mystic yoga or simply bodily gymnastic. And therefore, one has to be, when one is engaged in the service of the Lord, all these qualities will develop. And that we can see last 30 years down the line, we have seen so many devotees, so many people. Somebody who has come to devotional service, very, very, crude, raw person. And, by the practice of devotional service, in front of our eyes, we have seen the transformation within next 2, 3, 4 years. It becomes like, such a refined personality. Not only in his just it's not about the skill set, the soft skills. It's not the refined soft skills. That is not the point. Refined in his habits, thinking, refined in his character, how he responds to calamity, everything. And this is the greatness of devotional service. Now we come to the next section where we see text 17 to 22. Lord Vishnu's affectionate dealings with Maharaj Prithu. Right. Text 17. मैत्रेय उवाच स इत्थं लोकगुरुणा विश्वक्सेनेन विश्वजित् अनुशासीत आदेशं शिरसा जगृहे हरे. Translation.
The great saint Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, in this way Maharaj Prithu, the conqueror of the entire world, accepted the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead on his head. Purport: one should accept the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by bowing down at the lotus feet of the Lord. This means that anything spoken by the Personality of Godhead should be taken as it is, with great care and attention, and with great respect. It is not our business to amend the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or make additions or alterations, as it has become a custom for many so-called scholars and swamis who comment on the words of Bhagavad Gita. Here the practical example of how to accept the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is shown by Prithu Maharaj. This is the way to receive knowledge through the Parampara system. Hare Krishna.
Prithu Maharaj, what did Lord is coming and saying? Basically, Maharaj Prithu, you have done 99 yagyas. For no fault of yours, please stop 100th yagya for the tantrum of Indra. Right? Summary is, of course, the Lord has very beautifully spoken, and that's how the Lord is. But what is the summary? Summary is that don't do your 100th yagya. Correct. Let's not be distracted from the original point. There was a episteme file was going on, and then suddenly war started, and now that nobody talks about the original point, right? So the original point was the 100th yagya. But Prithu simply accepted instructions of the Lord, who is Loka Guruna. Right. In this way, Maharaj Prithu, and Maharaj Prithu is not some chota mota person. He himself is the emperor of the entire world. Accepted instructions of Supreme Lord, Shirasa Jagruhe Hare. Adesham Sirasa Jagruhe Hare, upon his head. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, one should accept the instructions of the Lord as here being shown by Maharaj Prithu. Instructions of the Lord come in Bhagavad Gita specifically and Srimad Bhagavatam. And whatever the Lord says, Prabhupada writes very beautifully, with great care and attention and with great respect, one should accept those instructions. Like Arjuna accepted, Sarvametad Ritam Manye, Yanmam Vadasi Keshava, Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim, Navidurdevo Nadanava. Sarvametad Ritam Manye. Not like some modern Swamis or some, the thinkers who will accept one part of Bhagavad Gita and say, oh, that part is Krishna wanted to say like this. No, nothing like that. Sarvameta Tritam Manye Yanma Vadasi Keshava. This is the practical example of how to accept the instruction of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is done in Parampara system. And such Bhagavad Gita is known as Bhagavad Gita as it is, right? Not that how I want to be, how it should have been. No, nothing. Bhagavad Gita as it is. Text 18. Sprishantam padayo premna vridhitam svena karmana shatakratum parishvajya vidvesham visarjah. Translation.
As King Indra was standing by, he became ashamed of his own activities and fell down before King Prithu to touch his lotus feet. But Prithu Maharaj immediately embraced him in great ecstasy and gave up all envy against him for his having stolen the horse meant for the sacrifice. Purport. There are many cases in which a person becomes an offender to the lotus feet of a Vaishnava and later becomes repentant. Here also we find that although the king of heaven, Indra, was so powerful that he accompanied Lord Vishnu, he felt himself a great offender for stealing Prithu Maharaj's horse that was meant for sacrifice. An offender at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava is never excused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many instances illustrating this fact. Amrish Maharaj was offended by Durvasa Muni, a great sage and mystic yogi, and Durvasa also had to fall down at the lotus feet of Amrish Maharaj. Indra decided to fall down at the lotus feet of King Prithu, but the king was so magnanimous, a Vaishnava, that he did not want Maharaj Indra to fall down at his feet. Instead, King Prithu immediately picked him up and embraced him, and both of them forgot all the past incidents. Both King Indra and Maharaj Prithu were envious and angry with each other, but since both of them were Vaishnavas or servants of the Lord Vishnu, it was their duty to address the cause of their envy. This is also a first-class example of cooperative behavior between Vaishnavas. In the present days, however, because people are not Vaishnavas, they fight perpetually among one another and are vanquished without finishing the mission of human life. There is a great need to propagate the Krishna consciousness movement in the world so that even though people sometimes become angry and malicious toward one another because of their being Krishna conscious, such rivalry, competition, and envy can be adjusted without difficulty.
Yeah. So all this, Lord is instructing, and Adesham Sirasa Jagruhe Hare, and Prithu Maharaj accepting that Adesh on his head, Indra felt extremely ashamed. Sprishantam padayo premna, vriditam svena karmana. Right. By his own activities, Shatakratum, this is Bhagavatam is trolling. Okay. Indra could have been called by any name. But here, the performer of the 100th Yagya, Mr. Shatakratu, felt extremely ashamed of his own behavior and fell at the lotus feet of Maharaj Prithu. King Indra was ashamed by his own activities and fell down before Maharaj Prithu. And what was Prithu's reaction? Prithu was not saying, Abhi, you realized my greatness. Right? No. No, Prithu did not say, now you realized 100th Yagya you did. Now I will do 100. No. Prithu Maharaj immediately embraced him with great ecstasy and gave up all envy against him for stealing his horse. Some few minutes back, Maharaj Prithu had just picked up the bow to kill Indra. And Brahmana said, no, my dear Maharaj Prithu, we will bring this Indra by our mantras, which are never used before. Lord Brahma appeared. Prithu Maharaj accepted. Lord Vishnu appeared along with Indra. All this has happened just few minutes ago. Right? And now Prithu Maharaj has showed such a benevolent character. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, there are many cases in which person becomes an offender to the lotus feet of a Vaishnava and later becomes repentant. In this case, Indra is offending Prithu Maharaj and then now repenting for his activities of stealing the horse. Later, we'll see Durvas Muni unnecessarily picking up quarrel with Ambarish Maharaj. Unnecessary. It's pure out of envy. He has come, he's fasting, then suddenly he said that I will go to take bath. And he went to the bath, got Brahmaleen, thinking of a Brahmajyoti. Prithu Maharaj is waiting for that Parayan Sama is passing by. And he just took one drop, sip of Charanamrit to break the fast on time. Right? And he got very angry. He wanted to kill. मतलब such a reaction that कुछ होली का रंग लगा इसलिए you want to kill somebody on the spot, right? So he just wanted to kill Maharaj Ambarish, and then the Sudarshan Chakra taught him a very good lesson, right? So that is, and then the same Durvas Muni had to fall at the feet of Maharaj Ambarish. And what was the reaction of Maharaj Ambarish? Same reaction. For the 1 year entirely, when this Durvas Muni was running around everywhere, Maharaj Ambarish was standing outside of his palace waiting for this guest to come back, do first the Atiti Satkar, and then take the next morsel. He continued his fast while this journey of Durvas Muni. So similarly is the case with Indra. And such qualities of a devotees, make the Supreme Lord extremely merciful towards his devotees. The Lord is very, very pleased by such behavior of his devotee. Prabhupada writes here, since both of them were Vaishnavas, it was their duty to adjust for the cause. And what is the cause? The cause is the greater cause of mission of Krishna consciousness. We have to adjust. Sometimes, we preach, two people preach to the same person, and the same person becomes a devotee, then whose counsel he will become? Arey, chalo, somebody's counsel. I mean, Gaurang Prabhu used to say, there is no dearth of conditioned soul in the material world. Chalo, ye nahi, kahi aur preaching karo, no problem. Not this person, somebody else. What is the problem? Just go ahead. There is no dearth of conditioned souls. Of course, we are also conditioned souls. But the point is, we have to adjust for the cause. Because people are not Vaishnavas, they fight and they continued the fight. The fight should not become like a gang war. I am fighting with him, then my child will fight with his child, and something like that. It is no some war, some fight, some exchange here and there. Prithu was very angry, wanted to kill, sat down this, and then he has completely forgiven Indra here, and Indra felt very, very ashamed. So, what kind of behavior is provoked by one's own action, right? This is yasminno udvijate lokonno udvijate chaya. Indra was behaving what kind, but then by what kind of behavior of Prithu Maharaj invoked this kind of action within Indra. And that is the greatness of this personality, Prithu Maharaj. Text 19. Bhagavan अथ विश्वात्मा पृथुना उपतारणः समुज्जिहानया भक्त्या गृहीतः चरणाम्बुज. Translation.
King Prithu abundantly worshipped the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was so merciful to him. While worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, Prithu Maharaj gradually increased his ecstasy in a devotional service. Purport. When various ecstasies appear in the body of a devotee, it is to be understood that his devotional service has become perfect. There are many types of transcendental ecstasies in the form of crying, laughing, perspiring, falling down, and crying like a madman. All these symptoms are sometimes visible on the body of a devotee. They are called Ashta Sattvika Vikar, which means 8 kinds of transcendental transformations. They are never to be imitated, but when a devotee actually becomes perfect, these symptoms are visible on his body. The Lord is Bhakta Vatsala, which means that he is inclined towards his pure devotee, that is Bhakta. Therefore, the transcendental ecstatic transaction between the Supreme Lord and his devotee is never like the activities of this material world.
Yeah. So while Indra was falling at the lotus feet of Maharaj Prithu, what did Maharaj Prithu was doing? Maharaj Prithu was very tightly holding the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Gruhita Charanambuja. And Prithu was abundantly worshipping the lotus feet of the Supreme, who was so merciful towards Maharaj Prithu. While worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, Prithu Maharaj gradually increased his ecstasy in devotional service. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that by performance of Bhakti Yoga, as one becomes more and more purified, there is exhibition of this Ashta Sattvika Vikara, Romanchakam Pashrutaranga Bhajo. We may also experience this sometimes when we are in the association of very great personality. We are completely moved. Sometimes we may attain the kirtan of somebody like Lokanath Swami Maharaj, Radhanath Swami Maharaj, or very, very inspiring association of Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. uh, you know, Suddenly we may have this kind of a feeling that, we also feel little more softened. We also feel more advanced. We also feel more connected with the Supreme Lord. Some of this Sattvika Vikar. What is the difference? The difference is the duration of our ecstasy, the intensity of our ecstasy is very, very limited. Like sometimes, the one day we may have the dream of Guru Maharaj coming in our dream, and we are doing terrific Mangalarti. And next day we may have a dream where, Salman Khan is coming in our dream and some movie is going on. Okay. So our devotional ecstasies, they are very, very Ghanatarala. Ghanatarala means they are very on the tottering platform. But for a steady devotee who has reached the stage of Nishtha, Rati, Bhava, Prema, these are the intense ecstasies which are very steadily manifested with very deep manifestation of these ecstasies. And this is the advanced process. Prabhupada says these are not to be imitated, but they will be experienced by everyone with progressive devotional service. Text 20. प्रस्थानाभिमुखोऽप्येनम् अनुग्रह विलम्बितः पश्चन् पद्मपलाशाक्ष व्रतस्थे सुहृत्सताम्. Translation.
The Lord was just about to leave, but because he was so greatly inclined toward the behavior of King Prithu, he did not depart. Seeing the behavior of Maharaj Prithu with his lotus eyes, he was detained because he is always the well-wisher of his devotees. Purport. Here the words Suhrut Satam are very significant. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always very inclined toward his devotee and is always thinking of the devotee's well-being. This is not partiality. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is equal to everyone, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. But to one who particularly engages in his service, he is very much inclined. In another place, the Lord says that a devotee always exists in his heart, and he also exists always in the heart of the devotee. The special inclination of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pure devotee is not unnatural, nor is it partiality. For example, sometimes a father has several children, but he has special affection for one child who is very much inclined toward him. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. Those who constantly engage in the devotional service of the Lord in love and affection are directly in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sitting as the super soul in everyone's heart. The Lord is not far away from the devotee. He is always in everyone's heart. But only the devotee can realize the Lord's presence, and thus he is directly connected, and he takes instruction from the Lord at every moment. Therefore, there is no chance of a devotee's being in error, nor is there any partiality on the part of the Lord for his pure devotees. Thank you, Prabhu.
So now, Prasthana Vimuko, he wanted to leave the Supreme Lord. But what is happening? Avilambita. The Lord just was about to leave, but because he was so greatly inclined towards the behavior of Maharaj Prithu, he did not depart. निकलना था भगवान को, लेकिन पैर ही नहीं निकल रहा था भगवान का, right? The same thing we will see. We have seen the first chapter. Lord wanted to leave. Pandavas came. They said that, please, my dear Lord, please stay back. Lord got down from the chariot, stayed 4 more months in the house of Pandavas, Indraprastha. So Lord wanted to leave, but because of the great behavior, such a personality, Maharaj Prithu, he did not depart. Seeing the behavior of Maharaj Prithu with his lotus eyes, Pasyan Padmapala Shaksho, he was detained because he's always Vratasthe Surut Vratam. His Vrata is Surut Satam, that is the Bhakta Vatsalata. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, Surut Satam means he's always inclined towards his devotees and always thinking of his devotees' welfare. Always thinking, right, of the welfare of the devotee. This is the Supreme Lord. Somebody may say, oh, Lord is partial. No, Lord is not partial. Prabhupada says, even when somebody has multiple children, within that, the one who is most obedient will be very pleasing to the parents. Although everybody is, unke mata pita hai. What to speak of this? Even Hiranyakashipu was so pleased with behavior of Prahlad. Later, when he came to know he's a devotee and all that, the whole different thing happened. But Hiranyakashipu is so pleased with, the gentle behavior of Prahlad Maharaj. So therefore, Lord says, devotee always exists in his heart. This comes in the Ambarish Charitra. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam tvaham, madanyattena janati, naham tebhyo manakapi. It's a love relationship. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam. That I am in my heart, there are only sadhus, my pure devotees. Sadhunam hridayam tvaham. Madanyattena janati. Neither we know anybody else other than this. Prabhupada says, what a beautiful statement Prabhupada writes, that Prabhupada says, the Lord is not very far for the devotee. Kaha hai Bhagavan? Of course, Goloka eva nivasati, but for a devotee, he is just situated, in the heart of a devotee, and he can be directly connected. And thus, a genuine devotee takes the instruction from the Supreme Lord at every moment. And therefore, there is no chance of devotees being in error, nor is there any partiality from the side of the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada quotes beautiful verse. Tesham satata yuktana. Qualification is this. One is always engaged. Bhajatam priti purvakam dadami pruddhiyogam tam yenamam upayantite. That the buddhi is given by the Supreme Lord. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, small question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhu, here Lord Vishnu is appreciating Prithu Maharaj, but Prithu Maharaj is empowered incarnation by him only. So how is this, like, I try to understand, he empowered him, like he gave all his qualities, or like, the divine qualities, and he's again glorifying it. So just trying to understand, he is glorifying himself in one sense.
No. See, empowerment comes. Here, Maharaj Prithu is a very special example. But the empowerment comes by acceptance of the mercy and one's behavior. Right. And that's why we see there are so many devotees, they just came in bhakti like with us and, just being exposed to the same knowledge, same everything. But they have done phenomenal advancement. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
So, another example, just like there may be two students, same intellect, same IQ, same teacher, same class, will the results be same? No, it depends on
Yes,
how
sir.
much they are applying the process.
Okay.
So we attract empowerment by our Vaishnava behavior and Tivrena Bhakti Yogena.
Okay. It's not that only selected people gets empowerment, like once in
In
you or
Kali
once
Yuga,
in.
Kali Yuga, it is the chamatkar of the Supreme Lord, especially Gaur Nitai, that anybody and everybody is empowered.
Okay.
Simply be available. That is the the mantra for empowerment. I have seen this. I mean, of course, they are wonderful devotees, but anybody who has become personal servant of Radhesham Prabhu, So once, I mean, when Raisham Prabhu was a bit sick some years ago, then he started following very strictly the timings. He used to preach and everything. And, his personal servant used to change and we used to explain him every time. Because Parmeshwari is doctor and certain things we used to explain to the personal servant. Yeah. Then I once asked Prabhuji, I said, Prabhuji, why you keep changing your secretary? Servant means secretary. Why you keep changing your personal secretary like this? He said, what can be done? He very, casually he said, what can be done? People become so empowered. I feel that, why to engage him in my some activities like this, medicine, ye wo. Better them go and preach the message. And I have seen for years, I have seen this. At least a dozen devotees I have seen this. They are secretary of Radhisham Prabhu. They are very highly empowered within 4-6 months. And Radhisham Prabhu says, hey, what are you doing? Go out and preach. And then, some new person comes and he becomes empowered. So Mahat Seva, application of the process, application of devotional service, sincerity, all this works in a big way in empowerment. All this works in a big, very simple person and, unable to speak even 4 sentences in English. And, he just transformed to become such a wonderful devotee and, amazing preacher. We have the example of many, one of the Srila Prabhupada's disciple also, right?
Yes.
They used to call him Crazy Peter. And later he went on to become one of the greatest Sanskrit scholars on the planet.
Yes. So empowerment is not just like limited to few selected people in Bhagavatam or something like that, or like maybe Srila Prabhupada or something not like that. It can be maybe
Empowerment is
different.
like sunlight, it's available to everyone.
Okay,
Provided we don't go and sit in the cave.
understand.
When the great personalities are coming and when they are giving their association, when they are giving their instruction, and if we are very, very reluctant to take their association, very reluctant to, receive instructions from them, willing to be corrected from them, then how the empowerment will happen?
Yes.
So it is like sunshine, it is like the rainfall. To the degree we are exposed to that mercy, to that degree we will be empowered. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the clarity.
Yeah. But simple is not easy. That is another thing. Okay.
Yes,
Right.
Prabhuji.
Like, every day, how to maintain health? Yeah, just 21 Surya Namaskar, 21 minutes of walking, 5,000 steps, and good sleep. 5 basic rules, right? Meals on time. But simple is not easy. That is the problem, is that simple is not easy. Anybody can walk, but nobody walks. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.